So, considering everything and the progressions that I decided to choose for her, everything went mostly well. I decided, as it was an accumulation phase, I decided to increase volume throughout these 4 weeks and the touches of intensity, just if they were justified based on the effort she was putting out. And I changed as well the reps in reserve in some exercises. For example, the dumbbell bench press. I decided to put less reps in reserve, and this was one of the issues that in the end I realized that I should have explained myself better in terms of reps in reserve and rate of perceived exhaustion. These two topics, or maybe it's the inexperience in dealing with these situations. But in the end, what I decided was to increase the effort, less reps in reserve or more perceived exhaustion. But in the end, I knew that she if I mentioned that I wanted her to give me an exercise with 3 RAR, I knew that she would give me 4 based on what I saw. So this had to improve a little bit better, or this experience or my communication of explaining better with different perceived exhaustions or reps in reserve for different exercises. Aerobically, everything went I think really well. I gave her more volume. I gave her I don't think that I tested her on some exercises, because most of the times, I think maybe all of the times, I knew that the exercise that I gave her, she would handle it. But of course, I don't know her that well still, so sometimes I was almost certain, or I was really certain, maybe things would go wrong. But in the end, she managed with the exercise selection to keep her pace and to keep the same time during the aerobic sets. Mixed models almost all the time. I did some sets of just the ergs, just using ergs, but in the end, what I wanted to give her was diversity. I didn't want to give her like 5 or 6 sets of the same exercise. Maybe it was the best decision. It would be the best decision, but in the end, I knew that she would stick to this plan better, and I would still recognize if she wasn't dealing well with with the volume, or with the repetitions of each exercise, or the exercise itself, or some other issue that would occur in this aerobic environment. So everything went actually really well. I went back, for example, on the keeping parts, on the keeping gymnastics. The only thing that she did keeping was the chest to bar in the first week, but then I realized she didn't manage. She had keeping chest to bars, but they were just a few. And considering that she doesn't have the basic strength, and considering that the volume was really low, I decided to increase the keeping pull-up, master the keeping pull-up. And as discussed, I knew that she would handle the keeping pull-up based on her knowledge of the human body and the movement and her experience, everything all together. Even though she doesn't have one streak, I think she would manage to have the keeping, and as she did. Still on the exercise part, the overhead squat. I decided to give her the drop snatch because I saw some issues, and as discussed previously, I decided to go mainly through tech work on the weightlifting, because I didn't want her to push the intensity a lot, or the volume would still be high but the intensity low. But the main goal was to deal with technical issues, and even if on the ongoing weeks I would still work, maybe snatch from the blocks or something like this, to work on some technical aspects. But her snatch improved a lot just based on this drop snatch before the snatch, lightweight, just to work on tech stuff that she could show again moments later on the snatch. The clean, I decided to swap the days, the exercises, the clean with the split jerk. The split jerk needed work, so I decided to put it first when she was fresher. She had the feet moving in together, and the dip was going forward. That's why she was forward. So we did some jerks on the split position. We did some tech work as well to increase to make the lift better and more stable, at least. The front squat, it was a thing that maybe, but I would only know certainly if I increased either the intensity or do that in chaotic environment with fatigue. But she showed me improvements on her front, on not on the front rack, but on the upright position of her torso. But I don't know if it was enough. What I did, the tech work in like I don't know if I should have put the zombie squats way before. I did the bottom up front squat a lot. In that she was struggling after the parallel, so that was the part that we were working on. But I would only know if it worked later on. The running improved a lot. She had more conscience. She had more time running. So I think it made sense, the construction of the progressions that I did, the more volume that she could handle, and low intensity always. But even if I gave her, she needed time running, with low intensity, and this was the way that I found to give her that. The last day was always aerobic day, and I decided to implement some map 9 after the map 8, just to give her some more volume, more energy expenditure, and that was basically it through exercise. And I kept challenging her with movements. I didn't increase intensity. I didn't increase I didn't go to map 7, but the twist that I did was to maybe different contractions, to see if she was capable of dealing with the different contractions while having this aerobic lighter environment in regards of intensity. And I think the progressions went well, based on what she showed me. Based on the nutrition part of it, it was a lifestyle, and the video before I forgot to mention the nutrition aspect. Going back in the initial consultation, based on the initial consultation, I decided, and as the main goal was to lose body fat. I know that even if I give her all the aerobic work in the world, the main thing would be to take care of the nutrition part. It would mean way more than the exercise, as we all know. And I decided, even though she had a nutritionist, that she needed she didn't need my help in regards of macronutrients, or in regards of food selection. She was aware of everything, what was good, what was bad, even the timing, but she needed a reminder, I think so. And in the end it worked. She needed a reminder that, because The thing that was missing was the main meal being taken care of, having quality food, and she was struggling with the lunch and dinner because she was eating super early and then skipping one meal. Even if everything was going, the plan was perfect, she wasn't executing that well. And in the end, I wanted to remind herself to eat before lunch and before dinner. And she did, even though it says no in the notes, she actually did. So it was a good thing that we don't need to. I realized that my noticing was that I don't need to be like, oh, you have this, you have to stick to these numbers because everything was taken care of. But there are different aspects to even the nutrition and to exercise selection. One thing that stood out, I think that's the thing that stood out the most, was this part of the exercise selection, that even though I have some knowledge, or even if I have all the knowledge in the world, if I don't apply it correctly based on the person I have in front of me, it doesn't mean much, because the templates that we all know don't work for everybody, or maybe they work perfectly for a person and for the other they don't. So the basic thing is to understand who's in front of us, the personality, the stress, the work, all the stress of the daily activity, work, how she enjoys training, exercises, type of exercises. I decided to give her more volume, for example, with a superset, with a drop set. And if she wouldn't manage that, I would understand. But because it's an intense, even though it's more volume, and it doesn't increase the intensity, because I still wanted to follow the prescription. I didn't want it to go to failure. It's still maybe it wouldn't work for her, but so everything is it has to be taken care of and thought about, and the little things and the little tests that that I decided to implement on a weekly basis to see if she was able. It's really important, because that's the thing that she wanted from me, was a personalized approach, and I think in the end it was what she got from me. The communication, I think it's a super important aspect. The feedback, the videos. Even if she didn't give me the videos, I wouldn't have done the same work that I did, and we wouldn't be so aligned together as we were. And moving forward, the goal basically is to continue with accumulation in the near future, changing, pushing and pulling. She had the vertical pulling. I would still stick with that, and I would go with maybe with a rep range, a lower rep range with a bit more intensity, but still more worried about volume. The push I would change to incline dumbbell bench press, just to have a mixture of vertical and horizontal, and see how that would go with the pike, if that would influence the pike push-ups, the shoulder fatigue. But in the end, that would be the thing that I would change the variety. I would still keep the snatch. We were going really well. Maybe I would improve the volume with higher intensity. Even if it's accumulation, I would increase the volume with the higher intensity that she showed me that she was capable of. And that was one of the main thing. I know that she can handle more than she's offering right now, in regards of the 1RMs. So basically on the dynamic movements, strength speed movements, and that's even though if it goes against the rules, I would go like with 75-80% with volume, because I knew she would handle it well with good technique. That's the main thing. Nutrition, I would still be in touch with that, but maybe I would start worrying as well with the hydration part. And I would remind her to drink more water throughout the day. Maybe after having that meal, a little bit of time forward, I would tell her to set an alarm for her to drink more water throughout the day. I already did in the initial consultation. And whenever we talk about nutrition and hydration, but still I would give this lifestyle check on her. And the main thing that I think went well, as I said, was the aerobic part, and I think nothing went bad, and I don't think the keeping just 2 bar went bad. It's just a reality. Maybe the thing that I could have done better would be the zombie front squats, maybe before, see if that worked, but in the end we never know. Lifestyle, I don't think I would change it. And the big noticing that she had with this was mainly the aerobic realm, the map world, that she didn't know that it was like this. She had some clues that before it was longer and with less intensity, but like this, she didn't know, like step approach with 1 year mark for her to keep the intensity getting higher, and she could replicate the effort, and that was basically it, the aerobic realm. Then I think what stood out as well was the approach, like the specific approach that I had on tech work and in weightlifting, aligned was as well with the aerobic touches. She recognized that she had some mistakes that she was having for a long time, and now she's on the right path to have this everything constructed for her. For me, it was almost the communication. What I realized, the importance of communication is important. The importance of understanding who's in front of us, because and it made me realize, if I have many clients and if I cannot manage to talk with all of them, I don't know if I would give the job that I'm proposing to give has an idea of what I think it's my value. So in the end, after this, I really thought about what my path is, basically. If I want more clients or if I want less clients, with and to give it really a proper attention. And I think that's my way to go. I don't want to have a huge number of clients and then I say just hello and I have just a monthly consultation, because I want to work remotely. And that was my main note that I got from this. I don't think I would have done anything differently. I think the individualization really is the aspect of utmost importance, and I think individualization is even more in my mind. Before joining CCP, I realized that it was the thing that I was starting to realize it, that everybody should have a proper training plan, considering everything, considering the human body, and human experience. And the more I get into this, the more I realize that this is the way to go. And this is my biggest noticing, is that individualization is the key, and it's what I'm excited to work in.